What's up? Good morning, Raider Nation. It's a Monday. It's time to start it off. And let's get it cracking. And let's get a new week started with some silver black awesomeness right here with your first Raider Reaction Morning Show of the week. I am your host, the Commish, and we've got members of the Raider Reaction Hype Team sprinkled throughout the show. As always, thank you for joining me. And this weekend, in case you hadn't heard, we had a new football league kickoff. I don't know if you want to call it a new minor league to the NFL. It's definitely not a rival to the NFL as much as they would want to be. But it had everybody excited. The Super Bowl was last week. We thought we were done with football. But then you had the injection of the XFL this weekend. You had Vontaze Burfict and all of the guys that got fined looking at hits like this saying, what?
It's really close.
And then you had all of the Raider fans losing their mind like, why did we get rid of McGloin? What? Look how great he looks. He's the greatest quarterback in the state of New York. How soon you forget. He used to be McChoke. But you see highlights like this, and everybody loses their mind. Probably the biggest buzz by far was... And I knew this was going to happen. I seen this one coming a fucking mile away. The first punt, fucking Marquette Queen fucking boomed off. Everybody's going to lose their mind. Oh, he should be in the league. He should be in the league. Let's forget. We didn't put him out of the league. Other teams put him out of the league because nobody wanted his ass. He's a lunatic. He's a fucking cancer. He's a distraction. Punters should be seen, but never heard. But I knew, as soon as he uncorked one of these, all the birds would start chirping.
Marquette King, NFL leg, all-pro at one point with the Raiders, gets away a boomer, his best kick of the day. And Gerard Hurd has to go Willie Mays at the 20. Pat McAfee, how about your boy, Marquette King?
It's beautiful to see him hammer a ball like he just did. The first couple he missed a little bit. The XFL ball isn't easy to hit, but if you get a hold of it, that thing goes. Marquette just showcased why he was an all-pro in the NFL, why he's probably going to end up back in the NFL, and why he's a weapon. That's a big field flip, especially with the way the momentum was going in the last couple plays.
Here's the new Pennzoil that saves gasoline. And Kenny Stabler, quarterback of the Oakland Raiders. New Pennzoil PZL. The Pennzoil that saves gasoline.
That's right. You know the Pennzoil in this can? It really does help you go farther on a gallon of gasoline. And it saves you oil changes, too. They call it Pennzoil PZL. I call it a winner.
It's time for Prime.
Yo, what up? This is Prime coming to you in the morning on the Raider Reaction Morning Show. Hope everyone's doing okay after a weekend of football. Yeah, so the XFL started this weekend, and, you know, it wasn't terrible football at all. In fact, it was just fine. It was just okay. I mean, not bad for a league full of people you never heard of, maybe a couple of coaches you have, like Bob Stoops, you know. But I'm going to tell you why the XFL isn't going to work. So, football fans, I mean, as I stated in my last Prime cut, football sits atop the hierarchy of sports in the United States of America. It is number one in television ratings, in revenue, in attendance, everything. Nothing is even close to football right now. The NFL. But let's take a look at this for a second. You got college football and you have the NFL, professional football. And basically, the college football season ends around New Year's, a day or two after with the national championship, And college football fans, I tell you, they are some of the most, I guess, hardcore fans of anything in any sport, really. I mean, there are people, first you have, all the people that, if you graduated from there, if you are alumni or what have you, but, then you have states, kind of like Iowa, which doesn't have any professional teams, and so you have Iowa and Iowa State fans. And basically, the fans of college football live and die with every down, all the way up until it gets to bowl season. And then most likely, if you have a decent team, there's like 100 bowl games or something like that happen. Some of them are absolutely meaningless if you ask me, but whatever. If you got a 500 record, you won some and you lost some or whatever, doesn't matter. You're going to get into a bowl game. And of course, those that end up with undefeated records or maybe one, maybe even two losses, or one loss. It gets you into that college playoff, And then, around New Year's or whatever, that bowl game happens or that national championship or whatever, the playoff. And, you get to the end of your season. And you're either happy or disappointed with where your team ended up. But you are essentially done. Now then, you have the NFL. And about a month after that national championship, along comes the Super Bowl. Of course, the Super Bowl is the biggest sporting event in the country. And not unlike those college football fans, a lot of NFL fans live and die with every down by their team. Every down. Especially, here we are on Raider Reaction. And I've seen, Raider fans just go absolutely just bonkers, lose their mind over anything that happened within that Raider game. But you can say that for the other 31 teams too. There are literally fans that live and die with every down in the NFL by their team. When you finally get to the playoffs and then the Super Bowl, you're pretty much done. In fact, it can be outright emotionally exhausting to be a football fan. It can be. By the time you get to February and the Super Bowl, and then it's all over, it's all done, you almost need a moment to catch your breath. But along comes this XFL, and like I said, maybe you've heard of a coach or two, maybe you've heard of a player or two, I think Josh Jacobs, or not Josh Jacobs, wow, where'd that come from? Anyway, that's all besides the point. The players are there, they're mostly a bunch of guys you never heard of. Anyway, so it is hard to get vested in the XFL when you just lived 4 lifetimes in the previous season that ended only a week before that first XFL game. Like literally. Whether your team was in the Super Bowl or not, you still had feelings about it. And man, I tell you, once that season, that NFL season is over, you almost need that off season. You are ready for that off season. So I'm going to say, just based on emotional fatigue, is why the XFL eventually is just not going to work, because we don't have the energy left to find out who these players are, to find out who these coaches are. They got no history outside of some he hate me shit, But here we are, man. I watched it. I watched that XFL. Seattle Dragons and such. That's cool. DC Defenders. They got cool names. They got cool uniforms. And it's produced very, very well. But with just the fatigue of being a fan, I think that's why the XFL just doesn't make it. No other professional sports team has a not, I won't say a rival team, but like a second league that just plays in their off season, there's minor leagues, there's the NBDL for the National Basketball Association, the NBA. minor league baseball is just about everywhere too, But there's no actual, league that is on par, on the same level as those other leagues. And here we are, and they're trying to do it with football. I wish them the best of luck. But not only does football reign supreme, the NFL reigns supreme. This is Prime, and I'm out.
It would not be a Raider Reaction morning show without a D-bag of the day. You, sir, are a fucking douchebag.
Harry Hot Take here, representing all you fucking morons. The douches for the day, that think anybody in the XFL could play or make an NFL roster or fucking practice squad. These fucks are part of the WWE for a reason. They're a joke. Settle the fuck down.
When the greatest Raider receiver of all time talks, everybody should listen. When the legend sits down and wants to speak upon the state of the silver and black, the nation is all ears.
But Tim, let me ask you a question. When you look back on this 2019 Raiders, the story, at least offensively, is the turnover at wide receiver. Mm-hmm. It seemed like each week it was two new guys. Guys are fighting injury. We're bringing guys off the street, undrafted guys who have never seen plays in the league. And I'm curious, at any point in your career, did you witness, did you have to live through that turnover out wide as consistently as it happened for these Raiders?
Well, I think that there wasn't two guys, but there were a couple years where almost every week I had a different guy starting opposite of me, and so that made it tough. It made it tough for everybody, I was there and, catching doing my thing, but if the other guy's a brand new guy, he's trying to figure it out, and you only get 1 week and you're out, and they rotating another guy. So, but that was pretty early in '94, '95, sometime around there. But what happened with the Raiders this year is something that's pretty tough. The AB thing blows up, and things are going well. Then all of a sudden, Terrell gets hurt. Another situation comes up. Now this guy's gone. Now you bring it in. And, I was joking with John all year, telling him, man, if this is your year to win Coach of the Year. I mean, because for you guys to be winning football games and to be sitting at 6-4 at one point during the season was remarkable, was really remarkable, because he was literally piecing guys together and putting them on the football field. And that's tough to do in any offense. But trying to do it in that offense with so many movements and things of that nature is almost impossible. But yet they were able to, purport themselves in a way that they were in every football game. And that's really all you can ask for.
And playing meaningful football in Week 17, which not a lot of people outside that building thought would be the case. But I'm curious, you talked about Coach and really the job that he did this year. And all kidding aside, he really should be on the short list for Coach of the Year and what he did. And you mentioned the complexity of Coach's offense, of Gruden's offense, of all the ins and the outs of it. How challenging is that for him to have these new guys coming in week after week after week, knowing the high level of intelligence and everything that goes in to getting that ball from A to Z?
Yeah, so basically you have to, especially the Z position, because the Z guy moves a lot. And, so if you got a new Z, it will change your whole offense, because now you got to say, okay, do I want to move that guy, or do I not want to move him? Do I want him to do all the things that the Z is supposed to do? And I can tell from watching offense, when they line up in blue 18, blue hut, well, I know there's a problem, because somebody should have been moving, somebody should have been doing something. So, I think that this is just it was a very difficult situation that John made look, like it was just an okay situation. When you have people say, oh, man, if they just catch that ball at the end of the game, they should, they would have won. It's like, bro.
Yeah, it's not that simple.
Bro, first of all, we were lucky to be in the game, you know what I mean? And I think from that standpoint, it's definitely something to grow on, man. And now you just got to get the mentality, man, the mentality of we can do this. I mean, look at what we did with what we did it with. And there's no slight to the guys who played, but at the same time, there's a reason why you want, the guys who are your starters in as many games as possible.
We were talking to Kurt Warner just a little bit ago, and he said something that I thought really kind of rung true for the 2019 Raiders in particular. He said, look, the 2019 Raiders were a good football team. He goes, they were, maybe a better football team than the record indicated. He goes, but what they really lacked, and you kind of saw it from week 1 to week 17, is they didn't have those explosive playmakers that'll give you those 4 or 5 plays per game. That just changes the entire narrative of a game. And he said that's what's missing in the silver and black right now. And I thought that was kind of an appropriate, it was well said in terms of where this team is right now.
Yeah, that's what you had in AB, right? That's why you signed him and brought him in, because he was that guy. He was that explosive guy that you can throw 5 yards and he could turn it into a 40-yarder. Maybe it's a 60-yard touchdown. Who knows? But when he goes away, that guy's not on the street. You can't find that guy on the street. And it would have been great if somebody would have stepped up and did this and did that. But, again, in that offense, man, you're thinking so much, it's hard for you to concentrate on goal, because you're trying to, am I in the right spot? Where do I need to, how do I need to influence? Because some plays you run in the offense are not meant for you to get the ball. It's meant for you to influence the defense in a way so somebody else can get the ball. So all that being said, man, I think that, I was very, very excited about, how the year, turned out. And I had picked them to go 8-8 or 9-7.
Pretty close.
And,
you almost got there.
No doubt about it. We should have gotten there. But I think this year, man, it's jump year. It's time to make the jump. His first 2 years with us back in the day, we went 8-8, 8-8, and then we went from 8-8 to making the AFC Championship game, divisional playoff game, Super Bowl. And this team definitely has the talent to do it. When they bring in that number 1 receiver, and I think that's going to be through the draft this year, I think we'll be right where we need to be.
Is there any of the, I know we might be looking down the road a little bit, but are any of these wideouts coming out of college, have any of them made you kind of raise your eyebrows? Is there any in this group? Because we've heard for the past several months how deep this wide receiving class. Are there any guys in particular that really stand out to you? Or?
Well, C.D. Lamb is one guy who I think is phenomenal from Oklahoma. Judy from Alabama. There's another receiver at Alabama, too, who's really, really good. I can't think of his name right now. But so you have guys, I think the Raiders will have, I think there's 7 guys who are projecting to go in the first round this year, receivers, that is. So so there should be a guy there, 13?
12 and 19 as it stands now.
Yeah. And so I don't think they'll trade up because, look, I haven't looked at the draft in order to see who would possibly take a wide receiver. But yeah, man, I know John can do a lot with a little, but, man, what he can do with a lot would be amazing.
Yeah, I think it's something.
It's that time.
Brady Chris here. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I got a bit of a rant right now. Dodger fans, you guys need to stop, dude. You guys need to stop. 7 division titles does not equal 1 World Series title, you fucking chokers. Most overrated team in baseball. You just got Mookie Betts. Stop it before you put the crown on top of your head because you still have to win the games. Now, last year, you guys should have fucking won that shit. The quote-unquote best team in baseball, and you got fucking mopped by the fucking the Nationals? Come on, man. Stop, dude. We'll always be a fucking overrated team. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you field 10 All-Stars on that team because there's only 9 positions. Shit. Can Mookie Betts pitch? No. Can he close out games? No. Stop, dude. You guys are fucking overrated. Knock it off. Late.
And to start off your Monday and send you off right, we've got to give you your Raider quote of the day. Women get possessive and cranky if they try to cruise with the twos. Words from the immortal John Matusak. Have a kick-ass day, Raider Nation. Start this Monday off right. And let's kick the shit out of this week. Until tonight. Big L in the house. I'm out. Peace, love, Raider Nation.